All right, welcome in, beautiful people, patriots across this amazing plane. I hope you're doing well. I hope you can hear me. I hope you can see me. We got some breaking news we're going to talk to you. So as you filter in, give me the regular 5x5. Make sure we are good with audio and video because we have got to talk about some breaking stuff. I happen to be in studio right when this broke, so I'm just jump right on live stream. I've got it all pulled up. I've got the players, I've got the emails, I've got the notifications, got the sources. As you guys get in here, let me know you're here, and then we will make this a thing of the past and make this happen because we got some stuff to talk about, particularly around the AR bans, because Maryland fell and now Illinois has also suffered a similar fate. But there's a few things here because Justice Thomas is clearly not happy. So as you guys get in here, just make sure you are letting me know everything's 5x5 as I mentioned, and we will jump right into it because the Supreme Court declined to review Illinois' assault weapon ban, leaving it in place, which I'm not sure I like it a whole lot. Not sure. All right, we got people starting to show up. Excellent. Thank you so much. We got 5x5s across the board. Excellent. I see some regulars popping in here. Thank you guys for showing up. This is something that dropped about, 10 minutes ago. So this is pretty breaking. This is something that you guys need to know about. I'm trying to move out of Illinois ASAP. Not a bad strategy, I'm going to be honest. We out here, good stuff, 5x5, perfect. Everyone can hear me and see me, that is good. All right, we got to our regular obligatory number of 470, 500 people, so let's jump right into this and let me show you the stuff. I've got it all pulled up. So guys, as you get in here, the YouTube algorithm is really doing that whole no, you didn't mean to subscribe, so we're just gonna go ahead and unsubscribe you and make sure you won't notice and turn that notification bell off on accident. So make sure you guys correct that inadvertent mistake. Make sure that subscribe button is actually on so you get these updates. The notification bell is on because you don't want to be held victim to the malfeasance of a computer algorithm on YouTube. So make sure that is checked. And with that said, let's get in here because we got to talk about this. This dropped about 5 to 10 minutes ago, as I said. Let me bring it right up. I'm going to get myself a little bit arranged here. I'm going to scoot myself up here because we got to actually focus on the issue here. All right, so here is the actual case, title and everything. The Supreme Court declines to review Illinois assault weapon ban, leaving it in place. And as you can see there, aired July 2nd, my birthday, by the way. Really, it is. And 9:09 a.m. It is currently 10:25 a.m., so with the variation of time zones, it's all good. Let's dive right into this because this is not as bad as it seems right on that title, okay? I'm going to show you the actual article that we're going to reference. This is from CBS. Then I'm going to show you what the National Association for Gun Rights is bringing, and then I'll show you the case and the details, okay? All right, happy birthday. Thank you very much. I am officially 38, people. 38 years young. Let's get going. We got some rights to spread to the next generation. All right. It's a little off kilter. Here we go. Washington. The Supreme Court on Tuesday turned away a challenge to an Illinois law banning certain semi-automatic rifles and large capacity magazines, leaving the measure intact. Now, off the bat, that is not cute. We don't like that. They did something very similar a couple weeks ago, before all the shenanigans we've seen with the Maryland case. We've been waiting what they were going to do with Illinois. Now, let me walk you through this, and then I'll jump into your comments here in a second. The court declined to review a decision from the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Seventh Circuit that preliminarily upheld Illinois' prohibition on assault-style weapons. The challenge to the ban has been before the justice twice before, though in an emergency posture, and they have declined to block the law while legal proceedings played out. That part right there, while legal proceedings played out. That's really, really important as we go forward. So this article would be kind of angled at AR bans are perfectly fine. The SCOTUS is perfectly cool with banning assault weapons that are not even really assault weapons. Don't worry. Stick with the nomenclature. That's not what's happening. All right, I'm going to walk you through this. And I'm by no means saying this is good. Don't get it twisted. I'm just walking you through. It's not end of the world like some could jump to very, very quickly. Now, here's what Samuel Alito said, because the court proceedings are not dead. This is not done. They just sent it back to the lower courts to go through the entire process. That's the point. They've done this a lot. They've done it in the Second Circuit with the sensitive places. They've now done it with Illinois, and now they've done it with Maryland. So, I mean, they've done it a lot. But anyway, let me get to this point of what Justice Alito said. He said he would have granted the bid to consider the ban's constitutionality. In a separate statement, Justice Clarence Thomas noted that the case remains in the early stages and hopes the Supreme Court will consider the issues raised by the challengers after the Seventh Circuit renders its final decision in the case. Quote, "It is difficult to see how the Seventh Circuit could have concluded that the most widely owned semi-automatic rifles are not arms protected by the Second Amendment," Thomas wrote. And I'm going to set up that camp on that for a second. This is not a dead thing. Understand, as we go into this, we are in the very beginning stages because these lawsuits take forever. The Cargill case took 6-7 years. I mean, like the Heller decision took forever. The Bruin decision took forever. The Chevron case took forever. Took 40 years. Like, these things take a significant amount of time. Again, don't get it twisted. I'm not here saying like, oh, the SCOTUS did a good job. I would love for them to smoke this from orbit and really make the week from hell for the left like creme de la creme. But that's not in reality, okay? So what I've shown you now is what Justice Samuel Alito said that he would like to take up the ban conversation. Justice Thomas says, yeah, y'all be tripping. But now let me jump over. I'm going to hide this one, and then we'll add some commentary around the entire point. And this is the actual press release from the National Association for Gun Rights, okay? I want you to pay special attention to what they say in here because there's an element of outrage, but then there's also an element of reality. Okay, check this out. I'm going to read through this really quickly. SCOTUS rejects National Association for Gun Rights assault weapons and mag ban case. So this is the gun rights or the NAGR versus Naperville. Okay, so this is firmly in Illinois. Today, the Supreme Court rejected cert in the case I just mentioned. The case will now proceed to the discovery, trial, and summary judgment phases at the district court. So it's going back down to the district court, and they're going to walk through the entire trial process for the Seventh Circuit to render a verdict or render a ruling. So once they render that ruling, it's kind of like Justice Thomas and Alito are sitting there going, okay, go ahead, talk. Okay, you done talking? My turn, as you can see from the CBS article I just referenced. Now I'm going to go into this article a little bit more because there is some, I'm very upset, but there's also, again, there's some reality here, and I'll get to your comments here in 1 second, guys. Quote, "Today's decision tells the lower court they're more than welcome to trample Bruin to their heart's content, at least for the time being." So even they're saying for the time being in this press release. "The question all along has been whether the Supreme Court was okay with the lower court's outright and unanimous defiance of the plain holdings of Bruin. Today we got our answer. For now at least." That is the second time in that paragraph they've said for now at least. That is very important. "The Second Amendment is a second-class right and will remain until the Supreme Court decides to stop ducking the issue," said Hannah Hill, Executive Director for the NAGR. That's the point. All of this is for right now. Now, again, I want to reiterate, I'm not going to sit here and blow smoke up your pants and say, like, this is the greatest thing ever, SCOTUS is doing some 4D chess. I would absolutely love them to just backhand the crap out of this so we can move on and be free and have our victory. But that's not exactly what's happening in the time. Even she said in her statement that for the time being, for right now, again, that's reinforcing what I'm saying. This is going to take more time. But let's continue. We're going to get to the point here in a second that I really want to set up camp on. The National Association for Gun Rights appealed to the Supreme Court, asking them to overturn the Seventh Circuit's ruling and issue a nationwide precedent striking down gun bans once and for all. Wouldn't we all? We'd love that, but they aren't usually overly clear. Anyway, this is the part that I really want to hit on, these two last paragraphs. Justice Clarence Thomas included a statement calling the Seventh Circuit's ruling, quote, nonsensical, and said, quote, "It is difficult to see how the Seventh Circuit could have concluded that the most widely owned semi-automatic rifles are not arms protected by the Second Amendment." Justice Thomas went on to state that when the case comes back, this part, to the court in its final judgment posture, the Supreme Court can and should review the Seventh Circuit's decision if they stand by the preliminary injunction reasoning. Justice Thomas told the nation that the Seventh Circuit got it wrong when it ruled that the AR-15, the most commonly owned rifles in America, is not a gun at all under the Second Amendment. This is incredibly important. This is basically goes on to say that the rest of the court agrees. So now let's go down. Let me get back up in front of you guys, and let me kind of break this down and parse this together. So let me get myself right up in y'all's face. Okay. Good Lord, what am I doing here? What am I doing with my life? I got to be at least... There we go. Get some America behind me. All right. So here's where it goes, and then I'll jump into the questions here in a sec, or the comments here in a second. I'm by no means, again, for the third, fourth time reiterating here, I'm not excited about this decision. I would love them to just wipe this off the face of the earth because it's clearly unconstitutional. It's a clear violation of the Bruin decision. It's obviously in common use. This literally is supported by the Heller decision, the Bruin decision, and their current stance on the Seventh Circuit's ruling. Okay, it's obvious what this is. But they want to let the courts render their final judgment. Even Thomas just said, yeah, y'all do what you do, and then we'll talk after you do. It's very similar to what Alito did in the Second Circuit around sensitive places. They have this tendency to say, okay, you're infringing. It's quite obvious. Hey, gun rights groups, don't give up. We'll see you when it's all done, and then we'll talk. We are consistently seeing that over and over and over again. And even Clarence Thomas was like, this is the most common rifle in the United States. Why would we ban this? So where does this leave us? It leaves us for a whole lot more things to cover as we go forward. The Seventh Circuit has to work through it. They have to render their judgment. They have to do the entire thing from their level, and then it opens it up to go after the SCOTUS again, should they accept it. Now, again, that's a different thing for a different time, but that's kind of where we sit. But let me jump into your comments over here because I want to make sure you guys get a say on this. Lots of happy birthdays. I do appreciate it, guys. I don't know if I'm old, 38. Does that make me really old? Medium old? Somewhat wise? I don't know. So, let me go through a few of these. Illinois sucks. I can't wait to move. Not a bad strategy. Not a bad strategy. I'm not going to lie to you. It sucks big time if you're in Illinois. So, I do want to say something about that really quickly. If you're behind the blue curtain, I have the utmost respect for you. Because you guys are the pincushions, and you're the ones that are constantly taking the infringements because they have the vast majorities in the legislatures there. So while you guys are taking all the pincushions, and while you are genuinely being the soldiers on the front lines, taking the flak, taking the shelling, taking the bullets and the machine gun fire, we are using all the things that they're doing to further these cases. So the biggest thing I could say is, one, I'm sorry that's happening to you. And the second thing is, stay the course, because the sacrifice that you are putting forward is what's allowing us to get to the things that will make us all more free. So understand that is, I don't think that gets said enough. We respect what you guys are doing, and we see you. We don't want you to think you're being ignored. But anyway, let's keep going. I think that's an important thing to say. Okay, here's one. I live in Illinois. This is what we expected would happen. It just needs to reach a final judgment. We do have a case on the merits in downstate Illinois going on right now. Right, and that's something. I'm glad to see you say that, Brian, because that's exactly what this is. It has to work its way through the courts. They know it takes forever, but the fact is it takes forever. And that's the left counts on it. That's what they do. They try to get victories in the short term, and they just keep on stacking and stacking and stacking, and that's what they do. All right, got a super chat from NoSam 6002, America. I appreciate that. You get a heart. America. That's right. 38 is not old. I'm 68, still loving life. Happy birthday. Thank you very much. Another super chat operator. We're behind the blue curtain. We will not comply. So now, again, I know a lot of you guys and my viewers are from behind the blue curtains. And genuinely, I see you. And we are all fighting for all of us, but you guys are doing a service to all of us. I genuinely feel that way. So I want you guys to make sure you know that. So effectively, where we're at right now, just kind of in wrapping the thought, because you guys are kind of doing, I kind of understand, I think you don't have a lot of questions in here. Effectively, the Supreme Court punted it back down to the Seventh Circuit. Seventh Circuit's going to have to go through the entire court system, and the SCOTUS through Alito, who said he wanted to take the case, and Thomas said, see you when you get done, boo. That's effectively where we're at. So while this is a defeat in the short term, it's more so a annoyance and a kicking the ball down the road, or the can down the road a little bit, more so than a true defeat, because this by no means AR bans stand forever. That's kind of the way that I would put this in summation. But what do you guys think? I'll throw over here really quickly. Happy birthday, Braden, with a super chat. Thank you very much, JBs. I appreciate y'all. And I'll leave the chat open for a second or a few minutes. I just want to make sure if you guys had any questions, I want to make sure I nailed it and landed the plane as best I could. But it feels like we're pretty good. Did all 6 cases get rejected? So the big ones that we've gotten rejected so far, CDAT, I'm not sure what you're referring to on all 6 cases. If you're talking about all AR bans, or you're talking about all the cases that were up. If you're talking about AR bans, you've got the Maryland case that was kicked back down, and you've got the Illinois case kicked back down. Sharon says, with a super chat, happy birthday, young man. Thanks for all you do for the 2A. Thank you guys for being here, to be quite honest. You get a heart. Have a heart. Have some love. Two hats. It's only been over a decade since Heller, so what's the rush? I mean, if you live in a normal state, I suppose there isn't one, but for the rest of us, this is getting to be a bit much. I would agree. Please see my comments about 3 minutes ago. Above ground is always a great day. 72 still fighting behind the blue curtain. Hope it gets settled before I leave the earth. Hey, that's hashtag goals. I love that. What's the Constitution say? Of course, Silky, you know what the Constitution says. America, it says, shall not be infringed. Baby, you know that. All the Illinois cases were looped together, and SCOTUS sent them all back down. If that's what you're referring to, yes, that is correct. It's your birthday. Happy birthday. It is indeed my birthday, and I appreciate you. All right, so so Mark Beasley just said something that I do want to drop in really quickly, and then I'll kind of leave it open for more conversation. The SCOTUS, as usual, the Supreme Court never really settles anything, always vague. So I would add a little bit of pushback on that, Mark. So are there tons of points where they've done that? Abso-freaking-lutely. But if you look back in just the decision since the Bruen decision that would positively affect the gun rights side of the aisle, you got Bruen decision itself. If you want to go back before that about 10 years, you got the Heller decision, but let's just stay with the Bruen. You got the Bruen decision. Then you got the Cargill decision, which was pretty specific. That was a slap against the ATF. The Bruen decision obviously was a wrecking ball. We know that. And now you have the Chevron decision, or the Looper Enterprises one. You have to understand the way that this system works. They have given us more victories than they have in the past probably 20 or 30 years in a span of 2 years. This is extremely rare. Tim and I talk about this on our channel, Second Legacy, all the time. Second Legacy, if you're up for humor, sarcasm, and 2A-related goodness, check that out. But genuinely, they've given us more stuff in the past 2 years than they had in the prior, probably 40, in reality. So while they are vague, they also are kind of kicking them right in the face, to be quite honest, honestly. Davis K., at this point, who will actually be heard from the SCOTUS first, California or Illinois? Taking bets, there are no winners here. Honestly, I don't know which ones will go first. I mean, there's St. Benitez's work on AR bans and mag bans from California, and then there's NAGRs from Illinois. I honestly don't know exactly which one's going to pop first. Stone Pillars says, Braden, it's your birthday today? It is my birthday today. I am 38 years medium. I think that's the consensus. Not old, not young, just medium. 2A free is what I am. Brian, thank you for your work. Hey, thank you guys for watching. And I appreciate all the happy birthday wishes with all the little drawings of presents. Makes me feel so warm and happy inside. But where we're at, guys, kind of just, if you're just now coming in, the SCOTUS basically said, nah, not right now. 7th Circuit, you guys figure it out. Then we'll talk to you afterwards. And Clarence Thomas kind of gave a backhanded, you best watch yourself. Anyway, so level 38, that's right. But with that, guys, please send this one out. If you are just now checking in, make sure you got that subscribe button on, because YouTube is absolutely accidentally scrubbing accounts from subscription lists. Notification bells are being turned off. People are telling me all over the place. So just verify that it's checked and you get this goodness, because it's so important for our freedom. And with that, it is my birthday. I am going to go enjoy it. I hope you guys have an amazing day yourselves, and I will see you. It might be 2 times today. It might be 3 times today. There is so much popping off. But either way, I can't wait. Love to see you every time, and I will see you